First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, double honor to the elders great milestone, and salutations to all Yakim on the highways and byways, teaching his work sincerely and faithfully. This is BBC News. Banks. Is this a banking crisis? How worried should I be? So right now, a lot of banks are crashing, right? I'm gonna title this video, The Collapse of Babylon, or Economic Struggle. The news is full of emergency meetings, central banks offering credit lifelines, and tumbling bank shares. No wonder people are asking, is this the start of another financial crisis? Politicians, including the UK Prime Minister and central banks, say the situation is now stable, but banking shares have continued to fluctuate. So how bad is this, and what does it mean for you? What is happening with banks, and are they collapsing? In the US, regulators have shut down and sold 3 mid-sized US banks since the beginning of March: Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, and First Republic. Failures are the biggest to hit the US since 2008 financial crisis. In Europe, troubled Swiss giant Credit Suisse, a major global player, is taken over by rival UBS in a forced rescue deal. The collapses came after customers worried about the safety of their funds withdrew their money. So the only time, if you invest your money in a bank, you're saying that they have connections, they have your money. So in a way, you trust them with your money, and when you pull your money out, the only thing that keeps banks afloat is having your money in their account. But when you start withdrawing your money at a large rate, or a faster rate, I should say, large groups of people, the bank is failing because there's no money in the bank to keep it afloat. So they need your money, in a way. And not only that, but they're doing away with cash. So you have no choice but to put your money in the bank. But I'm going to read: the central banks responded to the crisis with measures to make extra cash available to make sure the financial transactions continued as normal. Central banks rushed to keep cash flowing. That is the kind of action that was taken during the financial crisis in 2008 and at the start of the pandemic, designed to shore up confidence and make sure banks can still make loans and pay out to customers who want to take their money out. As fears have eased, some of those measures have been wound down. Are UK banks at risk? So a lot of banks are failing, right? Jake had no clue, as usual. Jake is done. Eve is toast. Eve is more than done. She's finished. Like, if there was another word for finished, annihilated, exterminated, disintegrated, Eve is just, she's gone. Jake is gone. I'm gonna get Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So without bank, they're talking about there's gonna be a crash. 8 million people are gonna be affected. I'm gonna get this. Ecclesiastes 8. So they're talking about a grinding shall cease. Look at this. Wait, let's go to news. White House details severe damage to the economy if debt ceiling crisis occurs. They said default could cost 8 million jobs and cut the stock market in half. Warns that 8 million jobs. We're all homeless. Now, honestly, a lot of people. Jake takes pride when Jake starts their own economy. Well, not economy. Sorry. Their own business, black-owned business, or whatever. Jake's talking about, using the white man's crutch, just because they got their own business. All of a sudden, all their worries and all the hardship is gone, and then now we're using Esau as a crutch just because they made it somewhere. The White House published new calculations Wednesday, warning about the potential damage to the U.S. economy and taxpayers should the government fail to raise the nation's debt limit. In a blog post published Wednesday and obtained first by NBC News, the White House Council of Economic Advisors identified 3 scenarios of varying severity: brinkmanship, in which negotiations run up until the June 1st deadline set by Treasury; a brief default in which the deadline is stripped but then resolved within a week, and a protracted default in which the U.S. fails to raise its borrowing levels for more than a quarter. So the protracted default, the CEA said, would result in a great recession like doomsday scenario wherein 8.3 million people lose their jobs and the stock market would fall by 45%. A brief default would spur 500,000 job losses, leading to a zero point 0.3 rise in unemployment, 0.3% rise in unemployment. The CEA argues that taking negotiations to the brink would risk 200,000 job losses and drive unemployment up by 1%. In scenario, U.S. economic growth turns negative from a 0.3% contraction to a 6.1% contraction, leading to the beginning of a possible recessionary period, and any recession, CA said, would even be more painful because the government could not intervene. So we're all gonna be a lot of people are gonna be jobless real soon if this happens. Lord willing, it does, but that's gonna lead into Jacob's trouble. Jake trying to understand why they're on the street, Like, yo, bro, what's going on? Why are we losing our job? Um, the White House writes federal state unemployment insurance would not be expanded and borrowing costs for consumer, and the government could skyrocket, increasing the burden on taxpayers. The Brookings Institution, a Washington think tank, estimates the uncertainty could drive up the cost to service government debt by up to $750 billion. So yeah, a lot of people are gonna lose their jobs. A lot of people have no clue what's coming. They have no idea, right? People are too busy. I don't know. Jake's busy. Everybody's busy. Esau knows the crash is coming. You know, Esau's finished. The CEO of Bed Bath and Beyond, the store where people buy stuff for their bathrooms. He committed suicide. Why? Why do you think that? Why do you think he would commit suicide? I think that was but I think it's a year ago he did. But there's a reason why a lot of these rich Edomites commit suicide is because they know the crash is imminent. It's like in 2008, 2009, the crash was there. A lot of rich Edomites committed suicide, right? And it's going to happen all over again. What? Wait. Let me read this. This is what America is becoming. Jeremiah 15:23. How is the hammer of the whole earth? Who's the hammer of the whole earth? Right? Kill, destroying, taking, stealing. Consuming. It's a consuming nation too. Buys up. They believe they're on top of the world. Whole earth cut asunder and broken. How did Babylon become a desolation among the nations? You got Skid Road. You got there's these different names for these homeless areas where people have tents lined up outside. Right? There's tents. They're filling up homeless people in hotels. Right? They're living under bridges. People are eating out the trash. You got people on fentanyl, laced weed or whatever, cocaine. People, living in hallways. People yelling, talking to themselves. Bugged out people on the train. This is supposed to be America, the land of the free, the rich, the whatever. Your dreams, American dreams. Everything, anything's supposed to be possible. People are losing it. People are gonna lose everything. Jake is so invested. They have no idea. People are already talking about destroying stuff. It's not. And you got this. This is a lie. BRICS won't overtake the U.S. dollar. Bank of America says. I don't know why. Yeah, I should never pull this article. This is Esau lying. This is Esau lying. Bank of America. America. Out of all the banks, this bank said it. No, you know, damn demon. Esau's a liar. I don't even want to read it, honestly. However, Bank of America remains adamant that this will be a tough task, de-dollarization for BRICS. Bank of America's security says that the global dominance of the US dollar is not in any way under threat due to there being no other currency alternatives available. USD is not about to lose its exuberant privilege as no single alternative has appeared. Bank of America said in a note authored by Athen. I'm gonna say Athen. I'm gonna try to Athen, a foreign exchange strategist and other analysts. BRICS Alliance has a summit scheduled for this August where new members and the new currency will be a trending topic. Multiple nations are already united in the idea of ditching the US dollar, with talks rising through, though multiple other nations opt in for new currency over the US dollar, such as Argentina for the Chinese yuan. BRICS is truly becoming a threat to the US. But Argentina for the Chinese yuan, BRICS is truly becoming. The August summit will be a massive checkpoint in this debate moving forward. So, the Chinese yuan, so they came up with their own currency called the Chinese yuan, right? China, they came up with their own currency. Now look at them. They're challenging the US dollar. I'm gonna get this, and it's gonna lead up to the MOTB, Revelations 13 and 16, and he calls all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Right? They're all trying to push this dollar to collapse. Talking about June or July, this is gonna happen, because Esau is trying to usher in the MOTB, right? And what is the MOTB? The RFID chip underneath the skin, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. His number is 600 and 6. So the MOTB is gonna be the MOTB is almost here. It may come this year. It may be Lord's willing. Lord's willing. But it's happening right now. Jake's cooked. Eve's cooked. These other nations, they don't know what the MOTB is. Christians, they're not even worried about that. They're worried about love and depression. Love and so much depression. So much depression. We gotta love everybody and all this other stuff, right? What else do Christians talk about? I don't know, man. They're just crazy. They're crazy. They don't even talk about the prophecy. They don't talk about no prophecy. They talk about love. That's in the scriptures. Nothing wrong, but like, come on. There's wars, just plagues, famines, violence is coming, right? And all you can talk about is love. We gotta change, man. Where was the love when the Catholicism was forced upon the so-called Hispanics? Or where was the love when the so-called blacks had a... Look at this. Every single update I get. Every single update I get is about the dollar. It's about the US, the dollar collapsing, or BRICS pushing either the major news I get on the headlines is either the dollar is collapsing or BRICS is overtaking the dollar. That's all I get. That's all that keep popping up from this news. The app is called Newsbreak. If you want to download it. But it's all I'm getting, because the Lord is not playing. He's been warning. He stretched out his hand multiple times for many years, and Jake don't want to get it. Eve, yeah, she won't, like 2%, barely. They barely get it. Eve hardly get it. But so I'm not even worried. I'm not surprised at that. But Jake, everything is. The Lord counts the man. He puts us in a higher standard than women. Because we know better. Eve is like a child. Our people have been. This is the worst condition our people ever been in any other captivity. But back to what I was saying, dollar is gonna collapse, and the MOTB is gonna be ushered in. And these Christians and Catholics want to talk about love, but there was no love for the so-called black man or so-called Hispanic man, right? When you forced your religion down their throat, you beat Christianity and Catholicism into them, and you want to talk about love. in peace and talk about Jesus Christ. Esau's the devil. Esau's going into slavery, and he's gonna suffer. First and foremost, Salaki. But with that, I hope this video is edifying. And I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, double honor to the elders, great millstone, and salutation to all y'all, my housing by way. Till next time, I say Shalom.